Okay, hello everyone. So we'll start this fifth session of Civic Innovation School. It's a quite important session after several previous session where we started this discussion about create Civic Innovation School. Now, after the debates and the meetings we already had in Local Camp Canarias, seems that we are finally ready for the launch of Civic Innovation School as an institution. So for this session, we have, I hope, no more than 1 hour, because it's important to be short in this session. And you have in Slack the link for the live report with the agenda of the session and also some notes coming from the discussion we already had in Global Camp. So, okay, Mario, you are asking for the YouTube link. I will share here in the chat. So if some of you are not in the document, please get the link because it's important, and we can take together the notes about what we are talking. So after the meeting we had in Canarias at the Global Camp, I took the commitment to start this, to coordinate these new meetings. And so today I will be coordinating the session. So I think it's important to start first with the agenda and just to have an idea about the topics we have so far, and if we need to add something more. So first we will have the updating of the local camp. So I will share with you all we already talked. Then we will work on the Extitution team, starting to understand the different roles and who is interested in the part in this team. Then, if we have time, we will talk about web and social network, some update about economy and funding. Then try to be clear about the next milestones. Then we have Carlo with some update about the week, which is the Barcelona private university interested in doing something with us, and at the end maybe some general calendar. So I don't know if there is something more you want to. It's quite a lot, but let's.
I think it's enough for today.
Yeah, it's quite enough. So actually the idea is to. We will see in the text you have following the main objective, the main goal for us is to start the creation of this institution and be clear in what is the meaning, the governance, and even the specific people engaged on that. And the idea is to achieve that to the end of the month. So the idea is to have this first session and at least another one before the end of the month to be clear in the creation of this institution. So I think maybe we can start with the Global Camp updating. We had 3 sessions in Global Camp, and that basically we talked about civic design course and the civic innovation school, and particularly about the new format of civic design course, which is not our topic here. I remember you that next Thursday we will have the specific meeting for civic design course. This is about Civic Innovation School, and we can retake, the discussion about general rules and governance. So in Global Camp, we started this discussion about what roles we need to get the Extitution real, and how we could work with this Extitution. So basically, the idea is that Civic Innovation School is actually a context. I don't know if it's properly said in English, but an ambient, I don't know, a context where we put together all the projects that people from Civic-wise are developing around education, training, research, specifically in civic issues, civic innovation, etc. So to be clear, in the past Global Camp, we talked about this idea to have Civic-wise Academy, and now instead of having this differentiation, we just are creating Extitutions. What I mean, what we discussed in Global Camp is not only that we have different parts of Civic-wise. We want to be more structured, so we will have Extitutions with the specific governance. So, from today, we can see that instead of having Civic-wise Academy, we have Civic Innovation School. And the Civic Innovation School has his own governance. The idea of Academy is just a general topic that, of course, we have in Civic-wise, but with Civic Innovation School, we have a specific governance. And so this governance is the meaning of this governance and the meaning of this Extitution. The main meaning is to promote more synergy between existence and future projects. For instance, the Civic Design course, the Civic Innovation School that we started in Valencia, the proposal that are developing now in Mexico, in Londres, proposal like Mario also is developing, you know, all of these kind of projects, if they want, they can be part of this big context, big institution. And the idea is to promote more synergy between the project and also get them more power. So the idea is when we, for instance, I don't know, the project we could have with the week in Barcelona, if we talk with them as Civic Innovation School, is different if we talk just as a course or, you know, or a local circle. Of course, all the time, the meaning of local circle, the meaning of even personal projects or different connection is good and is useful, but it's interesting what we discussed to have a main concept. So say that is all part of Civic Innovation School. So to be part of Civic Innovation School, the project should also accept this governance. So it's why, actually I'm just finishing, it's because we didn't have time to, to talk a lot more. So the idea is to have some general roles to get the institution real and working every day. And the governance will be built between these general coordinators plus the responsible for each project. For instance, the coordinator of Civic Design course, the coordinator of Civic Innovation School in Valencia, in Mexico, in Barcelona, etc. So this is more, and the idea as well is that so we have, we can guess, we can figure out that we have 3, 4, or 5 general coordinators, as proposed here in the report. For instance, administration, community and partnership, communication, plus the responsible, the project coordinators. So so the governance is the people in charge of the governance are these people. More or less is what we discussed. So another important thing is that, of course, this role should be in a turnover process. So if we decide the team now, this team should last, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, I don't know, but should change during the time to avoid the concentration of visibility, influence, power, etc. And also the idea is that the people part of this general coordination shouldn't have other role in other civic innovation school projects. For instance, if for instance, if I am, let's guess, I don't know, the coordinator of civic innovation, no, the civic design course, or no, course, sorry. If I am teaching at civic design course, I shouldn't have another role in the civic innovation school. I don't know if it's clear. Only the coordinator of the projects, in this case, the coordinator of civic design course, will be part of the governance, but with these coordinators, we don't have a specific role as administration, community and partnership, or communication. They are just part of the governance to promote and improve synergy. I think that's so far what we discussed at local time. So now it's useful if you have a question, we can be more clear.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the meeting session and you put general roles and you were explaining that also there are 5 main roles and then main coordinators depending in each country.
No. It's not about countries, not about cities. So we have, yes, it's projects. So now we have a Civic Innovation School in Valencia. There is Joanna creating another one in Paris. Lisa is creating in Mexico. It's just because they are projects. It's not in terms of city. So each project has a general coordinator, and this general coordinator should work with the governance of the Civic Innovation School. Actually, the coordinator, the governance of Civic Innovation School is responsibility for 4 people, I don't know, 3, 4, or 5 people that has each one a specific role. For instance, one is communication, one is administration, one is community, you know, one is edition. So each one has a specific objective. Plus, you have the responsible of each project we have in Civic Innovation School, which is Civic Design Course, Escuela de Innovación Cívica en Valencia, you know, we know what they mean. No se entiende. Si no lo digo en español, la mayoría somos españoles, más rápido. Además, la duda, como viene de ti, María, lo digo en español, ¿eh?
Pero yo lo entendí.
Claro?
pero...
Vale. Sí, lo digo en español así más claro. Digamos que la coordinación de la Civic Innovation School tiene que tener personas que solo se dedican a eso. Entonces, es para evitar que estemos siempre las mismas personas en todas las partes. Entonces, estamos creando una institución que tiene que tener personas que se dedican a esto y a nada más. Entonces, esas son las 4, 5, 3, pero todavía no sabemos. Son como eso, entre 3 y 5 personas que no se van a dedicar a nada más que a eso. Me refiero en lo que es, a lo que se refiere a todo el tema de de proyectos que tienen que ver con la escuela. A esos se les añaden los coordinadores de los proyectos. Por ejemplo, si el curso tendrá un equipo ya lo hablaremos el jueves, pero el curso tendrá un equipo como mínimo de 12, 15 personas. Y tendrá dentro de esas 12, 15 personas un coordinador general. Es lo que hemos hablado en el Global Camp de Valencia. Entonces, que realmente simplemente es el labor de ese coordinador es de encargarse de que todo vaya adelante y justamente de hacer las conexiones entre todas las cosas que ocurren en Civic. Entonces, ese coordinador se coordina con el equipo de Civic Innovation School. Entonces, por eso que ese coordinador no puede tener otros roles dentro de Civic Innovation School, porque su rol es crear sinergia, no preocuparse de la administración de Civic Innovation School. ¿Se entiende? ¿Está un poco más claro? Entonces, por ejemplo, si aquí en Valencia, la Escuela de Innovación Cívica es donde hemos empezado a funcionar con este tipo de gobernanza. Entonces, realmente somos todos coordinadores, pero hay un coordinador responsable de agilizar las cosas, que por ejemplo es Jonathan. Entonces, Jonathan, si se queda coordinador de la Escuela de Innovación Cívica de Valencia, no puede tener un rol de coordinador de la Civic Innovation School. Pero en realidad está conectado con la Civic Innovation School porque al ser coordinador de la escuela, justamente, tiene que comunicar qué es lo que ocurre aquí en Valencia.
Vale.
Okay. So if this is clear, now the thing we have now to get more specific is actually the number of these people. Because, for instance, the 4 people so far are administration, community and partnership, the general coordinator, and communication. So we should now be clear if there is I don't know if this is enough or we need less, more, I don't know. The idea is also, just to let you know, so it's also important to know that these roles should have a minimum money contribution. I don't know how to say it. So, so far, each project which is developing as a Civic Innovation School, like Civic Design Course, Escuela de Innovación Cívica de Valencia, is giving 10% for Civic Innovation School. With this idea that we should have money to empower the main project. So those people that are working on this governance, they will have some money. All the time is not a lot, but it's something. So we want to improve more and more this idea that we shouldn't work for free, and so it's also for this reason that what we discussed also in Global Camp is that we now people that want to be involved or engaged with Civic Innovation School, as we are all people involved are the coordinators. So we should have in mind, for instance, it's quite clear, I want to be part of this first theme, and all the people that want to be part should have in mind that it's really a serious commitment. So it's, we will be 3, 4, I don't know, 5 people, but with a really strong commitment. So basically with the weekly session and I don't know, maybe 5 hours per week to spend. I don't know if maybe we can say more, I don't know. But this is important also to know. And so far we don't know how much money we will receive for this engagement. Some money we will have, and we already have, because from Valencia and from Civic Design course, we already have this 10% sent to Civic Innovation School. But of course, we know that we are working every time more than what we receive. But for me, really important that now we are creating a team, and it's really a strong commitment team.
Talking about, maybe it's not the moment, but talking about the funding of the project, could be interesting in parallel, starting to ask about the global market, you know, like how could be the acceptance of the project internationally? Just sending some emails or whatever, but in a general way, like so far away.
You mean look for other way to fund the Civic Innovation School?
Because we have here a group that is called Community and Partnership. So we were talking in local camp that could be interesting if we work with local, I mean, the country's funding, and at the same time, the global funding. I don't know, some ideas. But in parallel, because I think the way to start to build these general roles could be difficult at the beginning, but I think it's very well if we start also at the same time asking people, like if we know people, our friends or whatever, asking for the first step. Do you think that could be possible to, I don't know, present something to this university or to this company or whatever, just in parallel? Because the process of partnership, I think everybody knows that is so difficult sometimes. We have to take a lot of time sometimes.
Yes,
the first step.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's it.
No, see, actually the idea is, because in Global Camp was interesting the continued connection between Civic Design course and Civic Innovation School. What I think we understood in Global Camp is that at the beginning, actually the partnership would be more something that is shaping and creating by the projects. So Civic Design course, or I don't know, other project we can imagine inside the Civic Innovation School work in this partnership. And what we do in the Civic Innovation School is just to not replicate exactly the same job. What I mean is, think about the new edition of Civic Design course. So guess that maybe we achieve some partnership with the Canaria University, some enterprise. So you achieve that as a Civic Design course. So it's as a specific project. So the job of the coordinator, in this case of Civic Innovation School, is to get to know about this partnership and then propose something bigger. You know, connect with other projects inside the Civic Innovation School. But at the beginning, so the job would be to create this mechanism, this protocol, and try to present in a clearer way all the potential of Civic Innovation School. So anyone that have a project like Civic Design course or Escuela de Innovación Cívica we present us as a part of bigger project, and it would be easier to get partnership and funding.
That's a thing about it. So in this way, I can introduce even partly the project of the University, International University of Catalonia. If I want to find a partner, I mean, should be clear the value proposition of the Civic Innovation School. I mean, for me, it's still not clear. I mean, what is the content of a proposition of the school? Of course, it could change depending on local priorities, depending on the partner, depending on a lot of things. But at the same time, of course, there will be a connection between all this project. So this connection that is like what Civic-wise propose about school, about education, his way of seeing education, I think should be clear. And maybe it's not clear just for me. So this could be a point. And the other thing that could help us, like finding partners, could be even like making some questionnaire where we are, in order to understand even like local necessities. And basing on local necessities and the value proposition, we can model like something on the local necessity and propose.
So see, first, yes, the goal of Civic Innovation School is actually do what we already understood as Civic-wise. So Civic-wise all the time say, okay, our value is to create connection between several projects, several people. So Civic Innovation School is doing that actually in a more structured way. So this structure, this protocol is what we have to create with Civic Innovation School. Then I would remember you that actually the meaning of this session is not to be totally clear about what is Civic Innovation School, because actually we have to create it. So what is important now is to be clear about the governance and the team and actually the objective we want to achieve as a Civic Innovation School. So today we are not able to define and to be clear about all. It's more to create the framework that we will use actually to shape Civic Innovation School, and try to avoid what we already experienced in Civic-wise sometimes, that we talk a lot and we don't define specific things. So this is why in the Global Camp we decided finally that, okay, we are ready to create the institution. To create an institution, we need a team, and we need a committed team.
Yeah, really clear. It was I mean, of course, not now. So right now it's clear that like working on the value proposition, we can even assess to this step. I think the partnership step is something like related to that.
Any other question, contribution?
I have a question. Regarding in comparison with the civic design course, of course, at the moment we don't know which are the main activities of the civic innovation school, right? In the sense that for the course you have the 6 months of activities, point A, point Z to arrive, assignments, and so on. The Civic Innovation School at the moment is just let's say a bigger box to contain all these experiences and activities, right?
Exactly. There is not contents or programs in the Civic Innovation School. It's just yes, it's an institution to get connected the other projects where we are creating specific programs like Civic Design Course.
Okay. Clear.
Can I say something again? I really want to push this group of people to, in parallel, to create this governance, really send emails to test the market. I don't know how to say in English. Why? Because we were talking a lot in Canary Islands about the real possibility to start to participate in projects that with money. And I think this is a reality in Civic-wise right now. So in our experience with United and other projects that are similar in the impact, in the global impact, I think, for example, the community group and the communication group and the partnership group of people working are going to be at the beginning the most important part for me. So I think it's a bad idea if we don't have a main idea in how to funding the project or previsión. I don't know how to say in English. So I think it's good if we, in parallel to create these general roles, in these 2 first weeks, we prepare a very small document and we send to some people that are next to us. For example, Artemi and me were talking about maybe we could ask to one project in Canary Islands that we think that will want to participate, just to ask as a first step to recognize the general funding.
Yes. Coming again for the main topic of the session, I think what we are saying, which is important now for me, is to be really clear on the focus. So, resuming what you are saying, I suggest, for instance, that maybe now here in general rules there are too much. Maybe we should have just community and partnership, communication, and general coordinator, for instance. So we could have 3 people really committed with the starting of the institution.
That's it.
Okay, so see, I quite agree because yes, I agree. Let's say that we have 3 roles, and another thing which is really important all the time to explain is these roles are people that coordinate and people that are in charge, responsible for the topic. But actually, they should be able to get other people engaged. This is important. So, I mean, these people are spending the majority of the time on the specific topic, but you could ask other people to help you. So, in terms of money, so far, the idea is that only these people could have some money, but at the end of the I don't know year or the idea is to have a periodical review, and if you suddenly you have other people helping, of course we can decide, okay, you have these other people that work a lot, maybe we can change the way we split money.
Okay, so for example, I want to propose myself to be a part of the group, not coordinate, be a part of the group or help in the group of partnership.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone want to jump to the swimming pool, as we say in Spanish.
Yeah. Of course, I'm proposing myself as a general coordinator because I am really excited about the idea to start this Civic Innovation School.
Today is the only chance to say I want to join it.
No, actually, no. The idea is to
speak now or never.
No.
Okay.
I think the idea is to session to be informed and be more aware about what is going on. And I think the next session will be the session where we'll have the final definition of the team. And also in the next session, maybe we could be even more specifics if we have, I think today we decided, I don't know what you think, that there will be a 3 people team, so 3 main coordinators. And maybe in the next session, we could see if there are other people that won't just be engaged to help. So they will be the other people that are not responsible, in charge, or really committed, but they love the project and they want to help. So, you know, this.
Okay, I'm just to say I could be interested to join the team. I don't know which role, but I also want to wait for the next hangout about civic design course, because yes. I want to balance some things and also understand the time that I can spend in some activities. So maybe one role is better than another one. So just to say.
Okay.
Dome, if I am the coordinator of one specific project, like the Barcelona one, I can't be for the moment in general coordination, right?
Yeah, actually, you will be. See, you will be in the civic innovation governance, but so you will be part of the decision, but the difference is that you are not responsible for specific issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
So this is the idea, actually. Maybe this part is all the time really difficult for me to describe. So you have, in this case, 3 general coordinators. So each of them has a specific topic, a specific mission. But in general, when we have this weekly, or I don't know, maybe each 2-week session, other people like you, that maybe you are proposing projects in week or civic design course, or I don't know, will be part of the session and takes decision together. So there is not the idea that 3 people is deciding for all the other, but it is distributed governance.
Okay.
So Nicola, I don't know if you are hearing. Pablo told me that you are working in London with the interesting connection with the local organization and try to create some kind of synergy. This is quite interesting. So the idea in this case would be, okay, you lead this connection, and so you could be part of the Civic Innovation School governance as a promoter of this connection with the local organization in London.
Yes, good. But I have a question, because the role of the general Civic Innovation School would be to some kind of coordinate the local Civic Innovation School. That's it. That's the role.
No, it's not coordinated local coordination school, local innovation school. It coordinates all the projects. So we don't have this structure that something local is global. It's more about physical and digital. And we could have projects that are digital, other projects are physical, and we could have a more structured.
What do you mean by project? Sorry.
Project, for instance, civic design course is a project.
Okay.
but Escola de Innovación Cívica is a structure we have in Valencia. We could understand as well as a project. So it's quite unity. I don't know how to say it. So you have different things, I don't know how you call it, that are working for something similar, but in different way, in different places. And then the meaning of Civic Innovation School is just to improve the coordination between all of them, and also work in a general, I don't love the word, but general brand as well. So what were saying Maria before, let's try to get all the stuff together and go to organization, public and private sector, to get some really power funding, collaboration. For instance, we will start this project, you are involved as well, in London with UCL, which is a really good university. Let's say it, and let's use it for all the other projects we are developing in civic innovation schools, you know.
Because
So,
the thing is that a civic innovation school in Paris or civic innovation school in London will be very different, because it depends on the local networks, on the people who will be interested to participate to this network. So, for example, because I'm working also in a project in Paris or in France, and
yes.
the thing is that if we don't have a strong local civic innovation school, we don't really need a structure. You see what I mean? First, we need the local civic innovation school to be in activity, to be ongoing, and then we will need a structure
Yes.
to.
No, we are not creating a structure. We are creating a framework.
Yeah,
So,
framework structure. Yeah.
So what I mean is, you in London, in Paris, or here in Valencia, we can do everything we want independently and autonomously. So the meaning of the coordinators is just to be aware about what is going on,
Okay.
and improve synergies between them.
Okay.
But they are, yes.
Okay, no, I understand. But what I mean is that we need local civic innovation school to be active. And I don't know, for the moment in London, it's just something very emerging. So maybe it will grow up and something will finally happen next year. I don't know. And in Paris also, these things are in construction, but for the moment they are really, and also these schools, they are like kind of networks with many other groups. There are people from Civic-wise, but there are many other groups also working in this direction. So each city, I think, will be very specific and very different from one from the other.
Yes.
I think that they are interconnected. I mean, there is no one before and one after. I mean, I think our two conversations are going, like alongside. So the general coordination is even like useful in order to connect all these projects that are going on like locally. So you really to empower it, and at the same time, of course, like the local dimension gives sense to the general coordination because it's the practical part. So I think that like developing one is going to help developing the other, and vice versa.
Yes. Maite, I don't know if you were saying something just before. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm listening. Everything.
Okay. So I don't know if there is no more commentary. I'm checking the agenda. So we talked about the Extitution team. So now we have we talked as well about funding, more or less. There is some money we will see how we can use for this job. we have here quickly web and social network. What is important here is that actually we with the creation of Civic Innovation School as a framework, we will create as well a new website, which will be, we don't know exactly, we already bought two domains. One is civicinnovationschool.com and another one is civicinnovation.school. So we will see, we have to decide which one we will use. And the idea is that in this website, we will show up all our energy, our, what we are doing with the different projects. So, for instance, the civic design course that so far is quite a mess because we had 3 different websites, one in Italian, one in Spanish, another one in French. So the idea is to create a new one inside Civic Innovation School. So you will have a civic design course from Civic Innovation School. That doesn't mean that other projects, like for instance, Escola Innovation Civic in Valencia, should be inside Civic Innovation School website, but at least should be connected. So, for instance, here in Valencia, we have an independent website, which is escolainnovacioncivica.com. So that website keep existing as an autonomous independent project. But what is important is that in the Civic Innovation School website, we will have a link directly to this school. So when you enter in Civic Innovation School website, you will have a panorama, a view about all the projects we are developing in terms of education, training, and research in CivicWise. At the same time, we will create the social network that actually we have to do it. So for instance, with the, right now, we are using the YouTube account for CivicWise Academy. So the idea is to change the name and call it, this is Civic Innovation School. So we will have as well maybe a Twitter account. We don't know, we have to discuss inside the next session about it, to have a specific account or using general account of CivicWise. But, well, a lot of things. Yeah, it's more important the idea that what is important to know that we are creating a really strong identity. So that has its own website. So as well, from the CivicWise website, we will have a direct link to Civic Innovation School. And also this is helping for the communication, because if from CivicWise website we have to link to all the different projects, would be difficult. Instead, with this new approach in CivicWise, we will have, for instance, a link for Civic Innovation School. So in Civic Innovation School website, we have then the information about all of our projects. So I don't know if this is more information, because maybe we can change some kind of approach, but it's what we discussed in Global Camp. Then another important thing, just to finish with what we already discussed, is so the milestones, just to remember you. So the idea is to finish with the end of the month with the Extitution team, and then we will spend the next month, so June, to create the website and all the communication strategy. And that will be especially important for the launching of the Civic Design course. because we will have to work together, because as the idea is that the Civic design course will be in one specific website. Actually, we have to work together to create this new website. Okay, I don't know.
Perfect.
Perfect. So I think we have this idea about the week proposal that Carlo is working. So before Carlo, you tell us about this project, I just suggest to define the when will be the next meeting. So we finish with all the commitment for today, and then you can tell us about the project. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So about the calendar, let's see. This should be in 2 weeks, I think, or 10 days. Let's have some proposal. So next week will be the 21st. 28 will be in 2 weeks. Monday, 28. I don't know what you think.
For me, it's fine.
It's okay for you? Will be at the same time,
Yeah.
6, the Madrid time. Okay, fine for Artemi, Alfonso. Okay, María, Saberio, perfecto, Nicolás. Okay, so we have the session in 2 weeks. So okay, Carlo, maybe now you can talk, tell us about what we are thinking, proposing.
Yeah. Just to make the context 1 second, after the local camp in Barcelona, some of us had the possibility to speak with the University Internacional de Catalunya, and so we are speaking about actually last summer, and there was the possibility to work with them in order to propose a course from Civic-wise, and after that, even a master. So building actually a path of educational path, I would like to say. During this period, it was the proposal was either no one worked on that because there were some problems. So right now in the group of Barcelona, we are going to work together in order to structure better as a team and developing some proposals. Between these proposals, there is even this one so retaking the partnership with La Universidad and propose them actually at least one course. But I think, as I said before, we have to build this proposal, and I hope we can do it together. Of course, it is connected with the Civic Innovation School. I mean, with the building of the purpose of or the content of the Civic Innovation School, and when we will do it, I think we can do it even this one for the university. And so that's it. I mean, I'm waiting to contact them because it passed a lot of time, and so I wanna contact them with a proposal, Civic-wise, a concrete proposal. And after that, we can start talking with them, like understanding their necessities, and so finding the right balance between. our proposal, their possibility.
Yes, actually, it would be great if you can lead this process, because it was a pity that no one was following the process, because the people from this university seem really interested. So in this new context of Civic Innovation School, I think the idea would be that you leave the proposal and look for other people that want to be involved, and in the Civic Innovation general session, we could help in terms of creating more value for the proposal you are working. So, you know, and we can work together to improve this proposal, and is more or less actually what you, because otherwise, if you sometime if you just post on Slack, okay, I'm working this proposal and looking for help, no one is answering, so you get alone, and so actually the job of this Civic Innovation School is also to improve this collaboration process.
Well, for me, it's fine. I mean, I think it's a really huge opportunity for the Civic Wise Barcelona and for the Civic Innovation School. So, of course, for Civic Wise too. And I really like the possibility to bring some concept that we used to develop here into a university. I mean, it's really disruptive. So I'm really attracted by this idea. Of course, we have to work together because the group of Barcelona is into do it, and I already stated them that I can take the responsibility to the development of this project, and we should work together in order to, you know, like as I told before, like developing both, you know, like the local dimension and the general one.
Yes, I remember, just to add some ideas. I remember when we were thinking in this project, we were saying that it would be really nice if we would have a local team that could be more involved, but also at the same time other people around the globe that would contribute in a way. And actually, Pablo Sendra, I don't know if you are aware, but he's leading as well a civic design course in UCL in London. So so he could do the same. So it would be interesting to see how the two experiences could collaborate, or we can get value each other. So we were talking just today, and the idea is also in this project in London, how other people in Civic Wise that are not in London could be involved on the project.
Yeah, we thought even to La Escuela Cívica.
Yes,
it was here in Barcelona last year. I mean, we can take all these experiences and like build a proposal for this case, but in general, I mean, for the Civic Innovation School too.
So guys, it's exactly 1 hour session.
Can I just add one more thing?
Yes.
Very quickly? I think it's very useful also to know in this particular cases how exactly to establish this this partnership with, for example, a university. I don't know. I just to not just in case I'm one of the people, one of the person that is the responsible for partnership, but in general, how to act, how to spread the word of Civic Wise. I mean, in the case of London, I can imagine that Pablo is a researcher or is a teacher, a professor at UCL, so it's more, it's easier to activate a course, maybe because he has the freedom, the power to do that. In other cases, for example, if I think at Italian universities or chambers of architects, for example, it's always more complicated because of the credits, because of bureaucracy or something like that. So it will be very useful to know how do you catch these links, or how do you have the trust from these institutions, because it's easier to find the right person to talk with.
In general, I think that in this case, in this particular case, we have the advantage that well, so some of us already spoke with them actually around 1 year ago, and we have Jordi in the team of Barcelona that already had experiences as a teacher in that university. So this, and he told us that of course you can, you know, like make a bridge between the educational, the didactical part, and this could be an advantage, of course. So I agree with you definitely, because we are external in this moment. No one is internal, but we have a person that was an intern.
Okay. Okay.
So that could be an advantage. I hope.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, in the future, I think with the Civic Innovation School, we can create some kind of protocols and publication information that could help to establish this this connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we are at the beginning, but maybe in 1 year, all the things, the project we already did will give us more reputation and more value. So it will be easier for other people to create this connection. And that I didn't say before, but we also talked about this idea of Civic Innovation School to be able, as a value creator, to create this framework that connect different universities. So that would be one of the main value of Civic Innovation School, this ability to create connection between university and the practitioners.
I mean, creating connections in general, because, for example, creating connections between administration, I think is also a very powerful way to start to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
It's even hard, but it's even hard.
Yes.
Because sometimes you don't have the right piece of paper, the right thing.
For this reason, I'm really saying that if we want to push this school in October, we should start to ask, not right now, but next week, just the principal contact, because then it's summer, and then I don't know, just want to stress the people. It's a joke, but a little bit.
Happy to be stressed, huh? Okay.
Bueno, so really good. I think we can close the session. What do you think?
Perfect.
So for all of you that you are also interested in Civic Design course, I just remind you that we will have a Thursday the same time at 6, the session specific for the Civic Design course. And I don't know, so far as we started this dynamic in Global Camp, I was in charge to start this new session, but I hope in Thursday there will be other people that take you know. So I take now in Civic Innovation School, but I hope Thursday other people. So I will be there to start this new session for Civic Design course, but then I hope other people would have this responsibility. So, okay. Let's close. So, thanks a lot.
Pero seguimos en directo. Aquí me parece en directo a mí.
No, stop.